Namaskaram, dear all. A very happy good morning. And today's group discussion, the topic is antiquity versus modernity in Indian perspective. It's a very antique topic. So let's see how it goes. And alphabetically, I call upon Ms. Aishwarya Anantaraman joining us from Delhi. Aishwarya, over to you.
Good morning. Today's topic is antiquity versus modernity. So I'll be starting with the simple meaning of both the terms. Antiquity is what refers to a former age, a former period, or something related to past. And modernity, on the contrary, is something contemporary, as the name suggests, something modern, which usually comes in conflict with antiquity. So they're quite opposite. And in my opinion, challenges are faced at every step, that is, whether be it past, present, or future. So instead of getting into this tussle between antiquity and modernity to find a solution, that is, we should try to combine both as a solution. That is, finding a basic structure or a foundation for a solution from antiquity, so that the base, that is the roots, are strong, and the structure can be molded as the situation is, that is modernity, so that we can face the current challenges and they won't be questioned, the solution won't be questioned. And I would like to give an example for this opinion of mine. That is, back then, when our constitution was being framed by our leaders, Indian leaders, they came into conflict with this. They came into conflict with this solution for secularism. Secularism, I think everyone knows, that is respecting each and every religion and giving equal respect to every religion, and the freedom to follow every religion, any religion or no religion, is secularism. So when secularism was being included in our constitution, there was a conflict whether to include the Western secularism, which is pure form of secularism, that is separation of religion from government, or to take out our own solution which suits our situation. That is, India, there exists in number of religions in India. That is, so many religions and coexist in one mainland. So it's very difficult to follow this separation, church-state separation as called. So they took out a solution, that is a combined solution, to add the basic structure from Western secularism and make it Indian, in a way that the state will interfere in the matters of the religion whenever required, whenever there's a conflict between two religions, or there's tussle, or the situation becomes worse. So this is known as Indian secularism and Indian constitution. So this was an example of what I wanted to explain, my opinion. That is, a foundation can be antiquity. That is an ancient idea or a very firm root. And then the structure can be molded according to the modern people, whatever the situation is. So this is my opinion, and I would like to end by quoting. That is, change your opinions, keep to your principles, change your leaves, but do not forget your roots. So this is my opinion. Thank you.
Very nice, Aishwarya. That's a great start. She nicely explained about how the religious practices and aspects and spiritualness cannot be separated from being an Indian. That's what it's all about. And that is the reason why I gave a tag. Had I given antiquity versus modernity, we would have spoken in general. But the moment you add a tag, in Indian perspective, that means we wanted that we are all Indians, we would like to remain Indians, and whatever the world says, we are very happy with our own age-old practices, but still accepting the modernity in its totality and in a kind of a perspective which will take us into the further realms of world-class modern aspects. Very nicely
It's
started,
also
Aishwarya.
similar to the present things going on. So I would like to say one more last thing. That is the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. The principles were derived from Gandhiji and
Absolutely.
Modi ji made it contemporary.
So
So
nice, so nice. It's like wearing a kurta with a jeans, something like that. You would find very many of the youngsters, they possibly would go
a
for a
khadi
jean
kurta
and
with
wear a typical Indian kind of a kurta mix and match. That's really really
a
wonderful.
khadi kurta with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
khadi kurta. So lovely. I call upon the next speaker available to me is Master Aniket Ray. Aniket is joining from Coimbatore. Aniket, over to you. Aniket is joining us for the first time. Oh, we welcome
Sure.
you. Let's hear from you.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you to you, sir, for giving this opportunity to speak on, sir. So, as today's topic is antiquities versus modernity in the perspective of Indians. I call about the Indians and its ancient history. We all know India has a rich history. It has a rich heritage, advanced culture, and ancient techniques. We had these types of techniques in the ancient times, which we consider to be developed now and helping to be modernized. So if I talk about India, so India is a culturally diverse country. All major religions are here, and I feel proud to be the part of this country. So if I talk about modernization in the perspective of Indians, it much doesn't affect much, but it's only the social impact that the modernization have uh, taken upon the Indians. Like we can see, we are adopting much more Western cultures also. We can see how we are going from namaste to yo bro, how to mata pitta to mummy daddy. So this all modernization and modernization actually helps in modernizing the thoughts of Indians also. Like earlier in the ancient age, we were thoughts having we were having caste discrimination, color discrimination, and some was religious discrimination also. But modernization somewhat helps to give liberty to the thoughts of Indians, and we can see how much opportunity like in the field of education, employment or jobs like something we are given equal women are also being participating on the equal amount as the men are doing. So I will say that modernization okay, but somewhat modernizing based on stereotypes like atheist or secularist system where everything is being praised on the basis of technology is somewhat leading to human downgrade. In fact, modernization has never been the problem with Indians, but it's been the blind westernization that Indians are inhabiting. Um, being modern not only means external appearance or dressing sense. As a Indians, we have a vast culture. We have Kathak, we have own spiritual songs, something else, which is somewhat like being replaced by hip hop, that Western raps and something, which I will say not is wrong. Nothing is wrong. It is based upon your interest. You are getting the opportunity to see the world, how we are connected through. But still, we as a Indians, we are still connected internet, and as you can see, yesterday was the Dashera and before that was Navratri. You have access to internet. You got developed by WhatsApp, but still you will be receiving the message of Happy Dashera and Happy Navratri from WhatsApp only. So this is the way. We are emphasizing on our culture. We have our own roots, but yes, the expression has been changed, and moreover, modernization somewhat like uh, stops Indians from going also. Like if you see the thoughts and the Veds we had they are much knowledgeable than what we see on now on internet and something. Like once we are again studying English, but with the help of modernization, we have now become the second largest country to speak English, and which has its own importance. Like modernizing, just if I talk about learning English, it has its own advantage. Like for me, I come from North India to South India. Here the people don't know Hindi, and I don't know their language. So what's the common source? So we have adapted English. So by ending it, I will say that modernization gives us technological advantage, which helps to grow our thoughts. And what I will conclude, what is this ancient or modern, is just a reference of time. What we are calling modern today will be ancient tomorrow. So, thank you, sir.
That's really wonderful, Aniket. Aniket joined us for the first time, and it is nice to have him around here. He is very passionate about the ancient values of our country, and he says progressing towards modernization was never an old thing for us. We were very comfortable being modern in our thoughts and deeds. However, forgetting the roots, forgetting the basics, he gave a very nice example. Very many of the children are no more calling Papa, Mummy, Papa, Ma, Amma, Appa. This kind of relations are being addressed with the new. Of course, this was good about almost 30-40 years old. We got this culture crept into it because of identity crisis. We wanted to be identified with that so-called bro group, cool group. That's the problem. But yes, today's children, there are very few understand how the ancient values can continue to remain. Please understand, it is only our limited understanding that we need to ape somebody. We don't have to ape someone at all. We can still remain what we are. None of the Europeans ever would end up in calling their relations in any other language other than what. There are few countries which reject English at all. You go to Thailand, you go to Russia, they say sorry, we will still remain modern, because language has got nothing to do with being modern. Somebody can very well be modern without aping such an cultural diasporic sort of inputs. Very nicely spoken, Aniket, you being a first timer, but you really made a great start ahead. Almost you dovetailed the thoughts at what the initial speaker Aishwarya spoke about. Good, thank you. Let me pin the next speaker. We have Miss Banu Mohita. Banu Mohita, I think you are from Koppal, right? Banu Mohita, can I have you on the screen? I've pinned you. Banu Mohita, I'll get back to you. We'll move on to Master Parth Khatri. Parth, are you there? Parth. Okay, there's some connectivity issues. Okay, we move on to Miss Satvika. Satvika, are you there? Okay. Your mic is not on. Yeah, please.
A very good morning to one and all present here. I'm Satvika Harish Kumar of class 10, studying in Air Force School, Coimbatore. Today, I'm here to speak on the topic Antiquity versus Modernity in Indian Perspective. I would like to start with a quote by David Benbow, which states that antiquity and modernity are cut from the same cloth. That is to say, our sense of things being ancient is produced both historically and in practice by the sense that we ourselves are modern. Ancient history is the aggregate of past events from the beginning of writing and recorded human history and extending as far as post-classical history. Ancient history is all the events we know about between the invention of writing and the start of Middle Ages. Writing is one of the Neolithic revolution in which people settled in small towns and started agriculture. The history of India begins with the Indus Valley civilization and the coming of the Aryans. These two phases are generally described as the pre-Vedic and Vedic periods. Indus Valley civilization, which flourished between 2800 BC and 1800 BC, had an advanced and flourishing economic system. Now let's take a look at some of the ancient traditions of India. Vedic chanting. It is the traditional way of reciting the Vedas, the ancient scriptures of Hinduism. There are four chief Vedas, namely Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharva, which are considered the primary source of knowledge on Hindu philosophy and traditions. Ram Leela translates to Rama's play and is performed across northern India during Dasera, October to November. This theatrical presentation celebrates the life of Rama, his strength and struggles. This dramatic performance involved a combination of songs, narration, dance and dialogue to recount episodes from the Ramacharita composed by Tulasidas. It spreads the message of good over evil along with the teaching of philosophy of life to the audience. Yoga. It is the ancient Indian practice for health and wellness. Yoga is scientific and it emphasizes unifying the mind with the body and soul to promote mental, spiritual and physical well-being. Yoga disciplines your mind, breath and body through a series of poses, sequences, guided meditation, controlled breathing, word chanting and other techniques. It aids in self-realization, eases bodily suffering, promotes relaxation, making you calmer and happier. On the contrary, in our quest for modernization, we are uprooting ourselves from our traditions. Spread of new means of communication and transport, urbanization and industrialization, social reforms, expansion of Western education, and a universalistic legal system were constructed as the normative components of modernization in India. A structure of essential features of modern society is revealed comprising of universality in variance of social development, civilization in variability and uniqueness of cultural programs, emancipation of trend and perseverance of change and innovations, increase in productivity, competitiveness and the quality of life. I would like to conclude by saying that antiquity and modernity must go hand in hand, because we are not makers of history, but we are made by the history. Thank you.
That's really impressive talk. Tell me, what is the meaning of your name, Satvika? What does it mean?
Sir, it means pure, sir.
Satvik. Does it have any semblance with our belief in ancient values? It is, because your parents, the one who gave you the name, they chose to give you this name because, please understand children, parents give us name with some expectations from us. Okay, if someone is named Aishwarya, someone is named Aniket, someone is named Satvika, that means, see, majority of the Indian names, 99.99 sigma Indian names have certain relevance with ancient scriptures, the Vedic values, and the meaning. That means a parent expect the children to live up to the standards of the ancient values with which they named us. Very simple. Other than in India, you will not find maybe few other world countries which have got this kind of understanding of even the names. Whatever thing we name, whichever creature we name, human, children, animals, whatever we did, we had a lot of research and expectations went into that. Satvika really lived up to the standards of her name, and she spoke so well, a very well researched topic, and she was very passionate in talking about the great ancient values, including depicting Ramacharita or celebrating Dashara, good over evil, and talk about yoga, dance, performances and all that. And she says, as we move towards the so-called modernization or modernity, by forgetting the antiquity, because they are two sides of the same coin almost. It's a kind of a continuum, she says. She says you cannot separate this from this. The line which separates them is a very, very blurred one. Very, very blurred one, and it is a continuum. That's what you meant to say, Satvika. Satvika joined us for the first time, and I think for a first timer, she did a lot of fantastic research, and you spoke so very well. We keep expecting some good talks from you, Miss Satvika Harish Kumar. A wonderful talk. Nice.
Thank you, sir.
Good, good. Well done. Very well done. Banu Mohita joined, and she's not seen here around. Okay, I think the time is almost up now. 7:45 plus. We'll do one thing. We'll just give about 1 minute each for anyone wants to add or develop or do a kind of a rebuttal that we can allow, because in a group discussion generally that happens, but because of paucity of time and to give platform to so many children, and being in a virtual kind of an online mode where this thing cannot really happen, today we have very less number of speakers. I think we can take the liberty of giving 1 minute each, starting from Aishwarya, Aniket and Satvika, and then we'll wind up. Okay. Today is otherwise we generally used to have about 20-25 speakers. Today is day because we had a long weekend, Dashara, everyone was busy. Possibly people did not wake up, they're still sleeping. I really understand that. Over to you, Aishwarya, I'm pinning you again.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I had a lot to speak, but last time
Yeah, I know.
went more silent. I thought I'll just
Concise
make it a
it.
bit
Yeah,
short
I know.
and crisp. So, in my opinion, antiquity, modernity in Indian perspective, I had one more point to make, which I cut so that because of the time crunch. That is, antiquity in India existed since the beginning, till I believe till the advent of Britishers. That is, till the modern ideas came in India, and it became British India. Modern ideas like freedom, equality, fraternity, secularism, all these ideas came with the Britishers, I think. So, I think Sir Banu has joined.
Banu is joined? Yeah. Okay, Aishwarya, reserve your comments. I'll ask for Banu. Banu Mohita, can I have you on the screen? Are you going to be speaking? I think there is some issue with your connectivity here, coming off and on and going. And please remember, I would also request all the children to preferably log in through your laptop, because the mobile handset has got an inherent problem. When somebody calls you, if you get a call, the Google Meet Connect automatically gets snapped. So you'll have to rejoin again. So that is the limitation with the mobile handset. Otherwise, joining through your laptop is more safe. I think Banu is unable to connect. Aishwarya, please continue. I'm pinning you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is what I wanted to say. And one more thing is, modernity also came in when these ideas of modernity, that is the modern ideas of freedom, equality and fraternity, penetrated into the minds of British Indians that time. I feel that is beginning much before the first revolt of independence, that is 1857. Much before that, when these magazines, localized traditional magazines, were published by our freedom fighters, many acts of bravery by them for the struggle of independence. So that was the beginning of modernity, and since now, and we're still progressing, we're developing civilization, as you all know. We're a third world country that we got, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're progressing gradually, and we would someday stand up on an equal pedestal in UN, probably.
Wonderful.
First world countries. And I would also like to mention one more thing, that is on 18th, I think, Modi ji is going to hoist, I think, portray the big flag which was there in the Air Force Day in Red Fort, near Red Fort, to symbolize 1 billion vaccines of India. So that's also a good initiative to portray our, that is, our vaccination campaign is the most largest one in the world, and we finished 1 billion doses.
That's really wonderful. Thank you, Aishwarya. Yes, the topic demands so much to delve into and to speak a lot, but still, we would like to have 1 more minute with Aniket. Would you like to say something, Aniket? I'm pinning you.
Yes, sir. Like as I said, sir, modernization, and I'm agreed to all, sir. Like we should remember our roots from where we come from. We should not forget it. And if I talk about modernization, sir, it's somewhat like becoming a thing which is progressive, but somewhat decreasing the value of humanity. It's, which I call the bhaichara that we used, that was in the ancient times of India, sir. Like we don't consider the other, the neighbor's house as their house. It was like our house. And I would like to say that modernization also somewhat creating the, we should modernize our thoughts, we should modernize socially, but also we should not forget like humanity is the one kind. Which,
Absolutely.
is the,
In fact, the process of modernization has made the human more self-centric and selfish also. We have no time for others. We are, I mean, in the rat race, believing that running a rat race will possibly make a rat a cat, which would never happen. Anyway, that's a very nice way of putting it across. Yeah, he very firmly believes we should not move away from the very basis of our being humans, in which we were very, very open to everyone. Like we treated everyone as one. We treated everyone as we ourselves. But today that thought is slightly diminishing, which I'm totally with you. Today, as luck would have it, all the speakers evolved cited to one kind of thought, because nobody had a different thought in telling that, I mean, I couldn't care less about what my country did 100 years ago. I would like to live in present. This kind of thought is not there in the youngsters, at least of this group. I'm very, very happy about it. Okay, over to Satvika. A few words from you again, then we will wind up. I know.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to say that we should always be in touch with our cultures and traditions because we are slowly uprooting from our ancient cultures. People from the Western countries are now coming here to learn our cultures. They are showing the interest to learn about our cultures and traditions which we are not showing. So I would like to say that that shouldn't happen.
Very nice, very nice. Tell me, Satvika, what, like Aishwarya is learning Bharatanatyam, she is learning vocal, she's also a student of Brahmayas, by the way. And what, Aniket, what are you doing to preserve our culture? What art form, what something Indian you're doing very specific? Are you doing something?
yeah, sir. Like I do, sir. Like sometimes I do puja and all.
Oh,
sir.
that's really
I
wonderful. You
got
you
involved with the
cherish
family.
you cherish a lot of spiritual and
Yeah.
religious values. That's very good. Satvika, what are you doing to preserve our wonderful art form and culture? What are you learning beyond your studies? What do you do?
Sir, I'm learning Bharatanatyam.
Oh, wonderful! That's really wonderful. Yesterday evening we had a Bharatanatyam competition, finals. Where are you learning from Bharatanatyam, if I can ask you?
Sir, from Mridula Rise.
Oh, wonderful. What level you are in? You can perform
Sir,
Alaripu,
actually, I
Pushpanjali and all
finished my
that?
Salanga people.
Alaripu you can do?
Yes.
Till about Alaripu, right? So you're now just doing the Margam, Alaripu, Pushpanjali, Jatishwaram, Shabdam, Padam, Varnam, Tilana, Javali. There are so many such things. That's really, really wonderful. So nice having you around, Satvika. One of these days, maybe we will like to see your Bharatanatyam performance also. We do that. Pramayas keeps doing all these issues. It's so wonderful, children. Nice having you around here. Please spread a word of unity. Please spread a word of happiness. Please spread a word of being together. I think all you guys, whomsoever spoke today, are of one particular thing, that we would like to remain modern but still cherishing the ancient values by progressing from being ancient to modern. I'm just getting Dr. Chakravarti just joining us. Chakravarti sir, namaste. Welcome. And we just finished. All of them spoke so very well.
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, namaste.
There was a program, therefore I could
No
join
issues,
in
no
and,
issues.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you
wonderful.
so much,
Nice
sir.
seeing you here. And children spoke very well. They're all of very firm opinion that yes, we would like to be modern, but we will not like to forget our ancient values. We will not forget like to forget our the very basis on which our being human in this very country started, and we would like to continue with this. That's very encouraging to listen it from them. And in fact, we've had two of the new speakers joining us today, Master Aniket Ray and Kumari Satvika. They've joined us for the first time. They spoke very well. And today really we missed Koppal children. Banu Mohita is from Koppal, right? Banu Mohita?
Mohita is there from Koppal.
Yeah, but she could.
Mohita, maybe with her mother.
Yeah. The thing is, he joined, but there was a problem with the link. So he came and went Mohita. No, sir, I am Mohita. Okay. Just a moment. Is Mohita there? Mohita is back. Okay. Mohita, can I have you on the screen? I thought we were winding up because. Acha, Mohita is from Air Force School. Okay. But we are unable to hear you, Mohita. Maybe you can correct your system. I've also recommended children to join from a laptop, not from a mobile handset, because mobile handset creates a problem whenever you get a call.
Yes.
Okay, Mohita, we are missing you. Maybe next time, please do join us. Chakravarti sir, maybe a word of blessings from your side today.
Sure, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Children, I miss listening to you all. Though I joined late, I could hear from Wing Commander Ejnaraman said that you are all of the opinion that we need to get ourselves modernized but stick to the values of the past. That's a good thing, a blend of both modernity as well as our antiquity, these to be maintained. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Very nice. Make the best of these opportunities to grow yourself. That is only what I can say. Every opportunity, and an optimist is the one who finds an opportunity in every difficulty. So therefore, let us take this forward and better ourselves for better tomorrow.
That's really wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Sir, that's really wonderful, because had you joined 1 minute later, possibly I would have warmed up. We were on the verge of winding up. So nice. And children, the take home is an optimist finds an opportunity in every difficulty. That's a very, very great statement made by Dr. Chakravarti. For children who have joined for the first time, Dr. Chakravarti is principal from Sri Sharada International School, Koppal in Uttara Karnataka, and his children are there right from beginning for almost all the events whatever Brahma has conducted. They were there today, beginning of Vijayadashami, and just after one day, I think the children are a little busy. The hostelers have possibly would have gone on vacation. Otherwise, they're always there.
Children were on vacation.
They're on
To get
vacation.
them,
When are they getting
into
back, sir?
one track.
When are they getting back?
Sir, on 20th.
Oh, so
We
possibly
are
for the
working
next
on-
week they'll be
Yes.
available here. And Miss Satvika is also a Bharatanatyam dancer. So very soon we'll be having one of our performances for Pramayas.
Okay.
Thank you so much, children. So nice having you around. And Chakravarti sir, thank you so much. It was really wonderful.
Thank you.
Namaste. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.